If you want to become a savage, the first step is to stop making excuses. Excuses are the invisible chains that hold you back from reaching your true potential. They are the comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid confronting challenges, taking responsibility, and pushing beyond our limits. But here's the hard truth. Every time you make an excuse, you are choosing to stay stuck. You are choosing comfort over growth. And that choice comes with a cost. Think about it. How many times have you said, I don't have enough time, I'm not ready, or I don't have the resources? These phrases might feel valid in the moment, but they're nothing more than mental roadblocks you've created for yourself. The reality is that every single person who has achieved greatness has faced the same limitations, if not worse. The difference is that they refuse to let those limitations define them. They didn't sit back and wait for the perfect moment or ideal conditions. They started where they were with what they had, and they kept going. Excuses are seductive because they provide a sense of protection. They shield you from the fear of failure, rejection, or discomfort. But what they really do is rob you of the chance to grow. Every time you make an excuse, you're handing over your power to the very obstacle you're trying to overcome. You're saying, this is too hard for me, instead of asking, how can I rise to meet this challenge? Let me tell you something, there's always a way. If you don't have the resources, you can get creative and make do with what you have. If you don't have the skills, you can learn them. If you don't feel ready, you can take small steps until you build confidence. The only thing standing between you and your goals is your willingness to take action. Excuses are like a drug. They make you feel good in the moment, but they leave you empty and regretful in the long run. You might feel justified in saying, I couldn't do it because of this or that. But deep down, you'll always know the truth. The truth is that you could have tried harder, pushed further, and fought for what you wanted. Think about the people you admire, the ones who inspire you. Do you think they got to where they are by making excuses? Absolutely not. They faced challenges head on, they failed, they stumbled, and they struggled, but they never let those moments define them. They understood that excuses don't solve problems, action does. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I can't, stop and reframe it. Ask yourself, what can I do to move forward? Replace I don't have time with how can I make time? Replace I don't know how with how can I learn? This shift in mindset will change everything. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about showing up, doing the work, and refusing to let anything stop you. You don't need ideal conditions or unlimited resources to start. You just need the willingness to take the first step. Once you start moving, you'll realize that the excuses you held on to were just illusions. The world doesn't reward those who talk about what they could have done. It rewards those who take action despite the odds. Don't be the person who looks back on their life and wonders what could have been. Be the person who stands tall, knowing they gave it their all, no matter what challenges came their way. Because when you stop making excuses, you'll discover that nothing can stop you but you. To become a savage, you have to train your mind like a warrior. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and moments that test your resolve. The truth is, most people break under pressure not because they're physically incapable, but because their mindset isn't strong enough to endure the storm. Training your mind is about building resilience, discipline, and focus so that no matter what life throws at you, you stand tall and keep moving forward. It's about rewiring how you respond to adversity and conditioning yourself to see every challenge as an opportunity to rise higher. Your mind controls everything. It governs your actions, decisions, and even your perception of reality. A strong mind sees setbacks as stepping stones, not roadblocks. On the other hand, a weak mind magnifies problems, making them seem insurmountable. This is why the first step in training your mind is understanding its power. You must accept that your thoughts shape your life. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, and fear to take root, they will grow and overshadow your potential. But if you nurture positivity, resilience, and a never quit attitude, those qualities will guide you to greatness. Training your mind is not something you do once, it's a lifelong process. Just like an athlete constantly trains their body to perform at its best, you must consistently push your mind to new levels. Start by challenging yourself daily. When you feel like quitting, go a little further. When you encounter discomfort, lean into it instead of running away. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens in the moments when you're tempted to give up but choose not to. Consider this. How often do we quit because something feels too hard? Think about the times you've told yourself, I can't do this, or this is too much for me. Those moments aren't about your physical or external limitations. They're about your mind giving up before your body does. But here's the secret. Your mind is capable of so much more than you realize. Every time you push past what you thought was your limit, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you believed. Discipline is the foundation of mental strength. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Think about successful people, whether they're athletes, entrepreneurs, or artists. They didn't achieve greatness because they always felt motivated. They succeeded because they had the discipline to show up day after day, even when it was hard. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's choosing hard work over distractions. It's saying no to temptations that pull you away from your goals. One way to cultivate discipline is to set non-negotiable standards for yourself. Decide what kind of person you want to be and commit to actions that align with that vision. If you want to be someone who is unstoppable, start acting like it. Create habits that reflect the mindset of a savage, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, setting aside time for personal growth, or consistently pushing yourself to do more than you thought possible. These small actions build momentum, and over time they create a mental fortress that's impossible to break. Focus is another critical aspect of training your mind. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, endless notifications, and the constant life of life can pull you in a million directions. But to truly train your mind, you must learn to block out the noise and focus on what matters most. This requires intentionality. Ask yourself, what are my priorities? What actions will move me closer to my goals? Then, eliminate anything that doesn't know priorities. When you train your focus, you also train your ability to resist instant gratification. Many people fail to achieve their goals because they prioritize short-term comfort over long-term success. They choose what's easy now, only to regret it later. But a savage understands the power of delayed gratification. They're willing to sacrifice momentary pleasure for the sake of a greater reward. This mindset is what separates those who talk about their dreams from those who actually achieve them. Training your mind like a warrior also means embracing failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of the journey. Every successful person has failed countless times, but they didn't let it define them. Instead, they used it as a lesson, a stepping stone to get better. When you face failure, don't see it as an endpoint. See it as feedback. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to come back stronger? This perspective is what builds resilience and fortifies your mental toughness. Another important aspect of mental training is self-awareness. You need to understand your triggers, your weaknesses, and the patterns of thought that hold you back. Take the time to reflect on your habits and mindsets. Are they helping you or hurting you? Are they aligned with your goals or pulling you further away? Self-awareness is the key to making meaningful changes in your life. When you know yourself deeply, you can identify the areas where you need to grow and take deliberate steps to improve. Finally, remember that training your mind is not about eliminating fear, doubt, or discomfort. It's about learning to operate despite them. Even the strongest minds feel fear, they just don't let it control them. They've trained themselves to act in the face of uncertainty, to stay calm under pressure, and to keep going no matter what. This is what it means to be a savage, so decide today to commit to this journey. Train your mind like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. The strength of your mind determines the quality of your life. It's the difference between settling for less and reaching your full potential. Embrace the challenges, develop discipline, and focus on what matters most. Because in the end, the strongest weapon you have isn't your body, it's your mind. To become a savage, you must develop an unrelenting drive to face fear head-on. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to personal growth and success, yet it is also one of the most misunderstood emotions. Fear isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace and conquer. Think of fear not as a sign of weakness, but as an opportunity to demonstrate your courage, to show yourself and the world that you have what it takes to rise above. Fear is a test, and passing that test is what transforms ordinary people into unstoppable forces. The truth is, fear is a natural part of life. It exists for a reason. It keeps us safe, warns us of danger, and heightens our senses in critical moments. But here's where most people go wrong. They let fear control them. They let it dictate their decisions, paralyze their actions, and shrink their dreams. They choose comfort over challenge, safety over growth, and familiarity over the unknown. But the path to greatness lies in doing the opposite. If you want to become a savage, you have to confront fear, dance with it, and ultimately overpower it. Fear shows up in many forms. It's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, and even the fear of success. Each of these can hold you back if you let them. The fear of failure keeps people from trying new things, from taking risks, and from pursuing their passions. But here's the thing, failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is often the greatest teacher you'll ever have. Every failure contains a lesson, and every lesson brings you one step closer to success. Fear of failure loses its power the moment you stop seeing failure as something to avoid and start seeing it as a necessary part of growth. Then there's the fear of judgment. How many times have you held yourself back because you were worried about what others might think? How many dreams have been abandoned because someone feared criticism or ridicule? But let me tell you something, other people's opinions don't matter. What matters is what you think of yourself. If you live your life trying to please everyone, you'll never live authentically, and you'll never reach your full potential. A savage knows this. A savage silences the voices of doubt, criticism, and negativity, and they move forward with confidence, knowing that their path is their own. To conquer fear, you must first understand it. Fear often arises from uncertainty, the unknown. Your mind creates worst-case scenarios, exaggerates risks, and convinces you that stepping out of your comfort zone is too dangerous. But most fears are illusions. They exist only in your mind, and they hold power only because you allow them to. When you take a closer look at your fears, you often realize that they're not as threatening as they seem. The act of facing them head-on reveals their true nature, manageable and conquerable. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear is to take action despite it. Waiting for fear to disappear is a losing game. Fear doesn't vanish, it fades only when you prove to yourself that you can handle the situation. Think about a time when you were scared to try something new, a job interview, a public speech, a difficult conversation. The fear felt overwhelming at first, but as soon as you took that first step, it began to dissipate. Action is the antidote to fear, and every small victory builds your confidence, making it easier to face the next challenge. Another strategy for defeating fear is to reframe it. Instead of seeing fear as a threat, see it as a sign that you're on the right track. Fear often accompanies growth because growth requires stepping into the unknown. When you feel fear, it's a signal that you're pushing boundaries, breaking limits, and challenging yourself to become more. Welcome that feeling because it means you're alive, you're evolving, and you're pursuing something meaningful. Visualization is another powerful tool for conquering fear. Your mind is incredibly suggestive, and the images you focus on can shape your reality. When fear creeps in, close your eyes and visualize yourself succeeding. Picture yourself handling the situation with confidence, grace, and strength. See yourself overcoming obstacles and coming out stronger on the other side. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind and body for the real thing, making it easier to face challenges when they arise. You must also surround yourself with the right influences. Fear thrives in environments of doubt and negativity. If you're constantly surrounded by people who discourage you, belittle your dreams, or magnify risks, fear will have an easier time taking hold. But when you surround yourself with positivity, encouragement, and examples of courage, you'll find it easier to rise above fear. Seek out mentors, role models, and friends who inspire you to be bold, who push you to take risks, and who remind you of your strength when you forget it. Lastly, remember that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Every courageous act starts with fear. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the presence of fear, but their willingness to move forward in its presence. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you face a fear and come out on the other side, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Fear will always be a part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. You have the power to confront it, to rise above it, and to use it as fuel for your growth. A savage doesn't let fear dictate their actions. They face it with unwavering determination, knowing that every step they take brings them closer to the person they're meant to be. So, the next time fear knocks on your door, don't run from it. Open the door, face it head on, and show it that you're stronger than anything it can throw at you. To become a savage, you must learn the power of relentless focus. Focus is the key that unlocks your full potential. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We live in an age of constant information overload, social media notifications, endless emails, and the pull of entertainment at our fingertips. It's harder than ever to stay on track and give our best efforts to the tasks that really matter. But to be a savage, to truly rise above the noise, you need to understand that focus is not just a skill, it's a weapon. And like any weapon, it requires mastery, discipline, and constant sharpening. Focus is the ability to keep your mind locked on one task, one goal, one vision. It's the ability to ignore the distractions that would otherwise pull you away from your mission and to stay immersed in the pursuit of your dreams, no matter what. Focus is not just about what you do, it's about what you don't do. The world will constantly try to pull you in a million different directions, each one vying for your attention. But if you want to become a savage, you must learn to say no. You must make the conscious decision to prioritize your energy, your time, and your resources on what will bring you the most value. One of the most powerful ways to train your focus is to set clear, specific goals. Without goals, your focus is like a ship with no rudder drifting aimlessly, going wherever the tide takes you. But with clear goals, your focus has direction. When you know exactly what you're working towards, every decision, every action becomes intentional. Each step you take moves you closer to that vision, and the distractions that once seemed so enticing no longer have the same power over you. However, simply having goals isn't enough. You must develop the discipline to stay focused on them day after day, even when the motivation wanes. This is where most people falter. They begin with excitement, set big goals, and then slowly lose steam when they don't see immediate results. This is the point where many give up, but the savage knows that the path to success is never easy. It's a long, often grueling journey that requires commitment and a relentless drive to keep going, even when the progress isn't as fast as you'd like. Distractions will always be present. Some distractions are external: social media, your phone, your environment, and others are internal, like your own thoughts, doubts, and fears. But the savage doesn't let these distractions control them. They develop the mental discipline to shut them out. In practical terms, this means creating an environment that fosters focus. This could mean turning off notifications on your phone, setting boundaries with people who waste your time, or creating a workspace that is free from distractions. The more you can eliminate these outside forces, the stronger your focus will become. But it's not just about external distractions. Sometimes the biggest challenge is managing your internal distractions. The human mind is naturally prone to wandering. You might sit down to work on a task only to find that your mind keeps drifting off to something else. This is completely normal, but it's also something you can control. You must learn to recognize when your focus starts to slip and take proactive steps to reel it back in. This might mean taking a short break to reset your mind, practicing mindfulness techniques to clear away distractions, or setting a timer for focused work periods, such as the Pomodoro technique. One of the most critical elements of focus is the ability to say no to distractions. In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by opportunities for instant gratification, whether it's checking your social media, binge watching your favorite show, or scrolling through endless entertainment options. These things feel good in the moment, but they take away from your long-term goals. A savage knows that the short-term pleasures aren't worth the sacrifice of their greater vision. They make the conscious choice to say no to the things that don't contribute to their success. They stay focused on their purpose, and they stay disciplined in their pursuit. To master focus, you must also develop the ability to stay present in the moment. Too often, we get caught up in the past or the future. We worry about past mistakes or fear what might happen tomorrow. But neither of these things exist right now. The only time that truly matters is the present moment. When you are focused on the here and now, you are fully immersed in the task at hand, and this is where the magic happens. You become fully engaged, and the work you do is of the highest quality. Staying present also requires that you become aware of your mental state. Are you feeling distracted, anxious, overwhelmed? Recognizing your emotional state and taking steps to manage it is crucial for maintaining focus. If you're feeling anxious, for example, taking a few minutes to breathe deeply or meditate can help center your mind. If you're feeling overwhelmed, breaking your task into smaller, more manageable parts can help you regain focus. A savage is always aware of their mental and emotional state and knows how to regulate it in order to stay sharp and present. Another essential aspect of focus is consistency. Focus isn't something that you turn on and off like a switch. It's a habit, and like any habit, it requires practice. You must make focus a part of your daily routine. This could mean dedicating specific hours of the day to your most important work, creating rituals that signal the start of focused work, like a cup of coffee or a quiet environment, and eliminating the temptation to jump between tasks. The more consistently you practice focused work, the easier it becomes to get into the zone and block out distractions. Ultimately, the savage knows that true focus comes from within. It's about training your mind to resist the lure of distractions and staying locked on the task at hand, no matter how difficult or how long it takes. It's about mastering the art of discipline and making each moment count. It's about understanding that the things you focus on today will shape your future. When you learn to focus relentlessly, you unlock the power to achieve your dreams, to crush your goals, and to rise above the noise that surrounds you. So, decide today to make focus your superpower. Choose to block out the distractions, stay present in the moment, and work with everything you've got towards the life you want to create. To become a savage, you must adopt an unshakable belief in yourself. Self-belief is the foundation of all success. It's the driving force that propels you forward when the world tells you to stop. The anchor that keeps you steady when everything around you is chaotic. It's the internal dialogue that whispers you can do this even when the external world seems to disagree. Without belief in yourself, even the most talented individuals can be crippled by self-doubt, while those who may not have natural gifts can go on to achieve incredible feats because they trust in their abilities. The savage in this sense isn't defined by their skills or intellect. They're defined by their unbreakable belief that they can achieve whatever they set their mind to. Believing in yourself isn't always easy, especially when you face setbacks, failures, or criticism. It's easy to feel disheartened when things don't go your way. But the savage knows that these challenges aren't signs of defeat, they're opportunities to strengthen their resolve. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. It's a chance to evaluate what went wrong, adjust your approach, and come back stronger. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about using failure as a stepping stone to greater success. The savage sees every difficulty as a part of the journey, not the end of the road. Self-belief is rooted in self-awareness. To believe in yourself, you need to understand who you are and what you stand for. Too many people live their lives trying to meet the expectations of others, seeking validation from the outside world. But the savage doesn't need external validation. They are clear about their values, their goals, and their purpose. They know who they are and what they want. And they don't apologize for it. This sense of self-awareness is crucial because it allows you to act in alignment with your true desires rather than being swayed by the opinions of others. One of the most powerful tools for building self-belief is setting small, achievable goals. Each small victory, no matter how insignificant it may seem, reinforces your belief in yourself. When you achieve something, you prove to yourself that you're capable. You prove that you have the discipline, the focus, and the strength to accomplish what you set out to do. These small wins build momentum, creating a positive feedback loop that strengthens your confidence. As you achieve one goal after another, you begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of greatness. This, in turn, fuels your belief that you can accomplish even bigger things. It's also important to recognize that self-belief isn't about arrogance or overconfidence. True self-belief is humble and grounded. It's the understanding that while you may not have all the answers, you trust in your ability to learn, adapt, and grow. It's not about thinking you're the best or that you'll never face challenges, but about knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. The savage embraces humility, knowing that their journey is ongoing and that they can always improve. Confidence comes not from believing that you're perfect, but from knowing that you have the capacity to rise from any failure, to grow from any criticism, and to keep pushing forward. Another key aspect of self-belief is resilience. The savage doesn't give up easily. They know that the path to success is long and there will be many obstacles along the way. But each obstacle is merely a test of your resilience. The stronger your belief in yourself, the more resilient you become. When challenges arise, instead of succumbing to self-doubt or fear, the savage meets them head-on with the mindset that they can overcome anything. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks, it's about bouncing forward. It's about learning, adapting, and continuing to move toward your goals no matter what. To truly strengthen your self-belief, you must eliminate the negative self-talk that often undermines you. The voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough, you'll never make it," or "You're not capable" must be silenced. These thoughts are not facts, they are just fears, insecurities, and doubts trying to hold you back. A savage doesn't entertain these thoughts. They replace them with affirmations, with the belief that they are more than capable of achieving their goals. Every time you hear that negative voice, challenge it. Replace it with the empowering belief that you are worthy, that you are capable, and that you are strong enough to handle whatever life throws your way. Part of building self-belief also involves surrounding yourself with the right people. The savage knows that the people you associate with have a significant impact on your mindset. If you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who support you, and who push you to be your best, your belief in yourself will grow. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who doubt you, criticize you, or bring negative energy into your life, it becomes much harder to maintain your belief. The savage understands the importance of building a circle of positive, supportive, and like-minded individuals who will help you rise. Another essential part of building self-belief is recognizing your own strengths. It's easy to focus on your weaknesses and forget what you're good at. But the savage doesn't ignore their strengths. They embrace them and use them as a foundation upon which to build even greater skills. Identifying your strengths allows you to capitalize on them and use them as tools to achieve your goals. It also provides the confidence boost you need to continue pushing forward. If you're unsure of your strengths, take the time to reflect on past successes, feedback from others, or the areas in which you naturally excel. Recognizing these strengths helps you trust in your abilities and reinforces the belief that you can handle whatever challenges come your way. Moreover, part of believing in yourself is being willing to take risks. Too many people play it safe, afraid of stepping outside of their comfort zone. But the savage knows that growth lies in discomfort. Taking risks is often the only way to move forward and break through barriers. Every time you take a calculated risk and succeed, your self-belief is strengthened. And even if you fail, you learn valuable lessons that contribute to your growth. The savage isn't afraid of failure, they're afraid of not trying. They know that taking risks is an essential part of the journey toward becoming the best version of themselves. Belief in yourself also requires the courage to trust your instincts. Often our minds are filled with doubts and second guessing, but your instincts are a powerful guide. The savage doesn't overthink, they listen to their gut, trust their inner voice, and make decisions based on the conviction that they know what's best for them. Trusting yourself means taking action without waiting for perfect circumstances or external approval. The savage moves forward with confidence, knowing that they are their own best guide. Finally, remember that self-belief is a lifelong journey. It's something you must continuously nurture and develop. There will always be new challenges, new doubts, and new fears to face. But the savage knows that their belief in themselves is their most valuable asset. It's what will carry them through the toughest times, help them conquer the impossible, and drive them to achieve their ultimate goals. So commit to believing in yourself. Embrace your worth, trust in your abilities, and know that you have everything you need to succeed. The world is full of doubters, but the savage never doubts themselves. They know that they are capable of anything, and that belief is what makes them unstoppable. To become a savage, you must embrace the grind. The grind is the process of relentlessly pursuing your goals, day in and day out, without making excuses or looking for shortcuts. It's not about seeking the easy path or waiting for things to magically fall into place. The grind is about putting in the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate, and even when it seems like no one is watching. It's the ability to stay focused on your long-term vision and push through the daily discomforts and obstacles that come with growth. This is where most people fail. They want the results but aren't willing to do the work. And without the grind, there are no results. The grind isn't glamorous. It isn't a fast track to success. It's a process of steady, consistent effort. It's showing up every day, even when it feels like progress is slow or when there are distractions pulling at your attention. Success doesn't happen overnight, and the savage knows this. They understand that it takes time, effort, and sacrifice to build something that will last. Whether it's building a business, getting in shape, mastering a skill, or improving your mindset, the grind is the foundation of everything worthwhile. Every moment spent pushing yourself, every bit of effort invested, compounds over time and gets you closer to your goal. The grind is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who talk about it but never make it. One of the most important aspects of embracing the grind is understanding that consistency is key. It's easy to get excited about a new project, a new goal, or a new challenge. But the real test comes in the consistency you bring to your efforts. The savage knows that no matter how motivated they feel today, they must still show up tomorrow. The secret to success is doing the work every single day, even when the initial excitement has worn off, even when the results are not immediately apparent. Consistency is what keeps you on track, moving forward, and slowly but surely inching closer to your goal. This is the mentality of a savage. No matter what, they show up, they work, and they trust that the process will pay off. The grind also requires you to cultivate an unwavering work ethic. Your work ethic is what drives you when motivation runs dry. It's the ability to push through tiredness, distractions, or obstacles without making excuses. The savage doesn't wait for motivation to hit them. They know that motivation is fleeting and unreliable, but work ethic is something they can control. It's the ability to show up every day and put in the effort, even when it seems like progress is slow. A strong work ethic is what allows you to keep moving forward when the easy path would be to quit. The savage knows that every hour of hard work is an investment in their future. It's about creating momentum that builds over time. In the grind, you will face challenges. You will experience moments of doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. The road to success is rarely smooth, and there will be times when it feels like you're not making progress, or that the obstacles in front of you are insurmountable. But this is the true test of the savage. It's easy to keep going when things are going well. But the savage doesn't stop when it gets tough. They press on knowing that challenges are part of the journey. Each obstacle they overcome only strengthens their resolve and makes them more resilient. The grind is about developing the mental toughness to keep moving forward when everything inside you is telling you to quit. It's about knowing that perseverance will pay off and that the only way to fail is to stop trying. A key part of embracing the grind is learning how to stay disciplined. Discipline is the muscle that keeps you focused on your goals, even when the distractions are loud and persistent. It's the ability to say no to the things that pull you away from your mission and stay committed to the long-term vision. The savage knows that discipline is the bridge between their dreams and reality. It's the ability to delay gratification and understand that the rewards will come in time. Discipline means following through on what you've committed to, even when it's hard or when you'd rather do something else. It's the difference between wishing for success and working for it. The grind also teaches you the importance of embracing discomfort. Growth never happens in comfort zones. If you want to grow, you need to push yourself beyond what feels easy or familiar. This means stepping up when it's difficult, stretching your limits, and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. The savage thrives in discomfort. They know that it's in these moments of struggle that they are becoming stronger, more capable, and more resilient. When you embrace discomfort, you embrace growth. And every time you push through the discomfort, you elevate yourself closer to your ultimate goals. Another vital aspect of the grind is developing patience. Many people want quick results, but the savage understands that true success takes time. It's about trusting the process and knowing that the hard work you're putting in today will eventually pay off, even if the results aren't immediately visible. Patience is the ability to keep going, even when the outcome isn't clear. It's about trusting that your efforts will compound and lead to success in the long run. The savage doesn't look for shortcuts. They know that true, lasting success comes from doing the right things consistently over time. Patience is not passive. It's an active form of perseverance, a commitment to keeping the grind alive, even when you don't see immediate rewards. While the grind is about hard work, it's also about smart work. It's important to recognize that simply working hard isn't enough. The savage knows that working smarter is just as important as working harder. You must learn to prioritize the tasks that will have the greatest impact on your goals. Not all tasks are created equal, and the savage doesn't waste time on things that don't move them forward. This is where focus, prioritization, and time management come into play. The grind isn't just about putting in hours of work. It's about making sure those hours are spent on things that will actually get you closer to where you want to be. The savage is strategic with their effort. They make sure every move counts. One of the most important lessons of the grind is learning how to handle setbacks and failures. No one achieves success without encountering failure along the way. The grind is about how you respond to failure. It's about understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. The savage doesn't fear failure. They welcome it as a necessary step in the process. When things don't go as planned, they take it as an opportunity to learn, to adjust their approach, and to come back stronger. The grind requires resilience. When you encounter failure, don't let it stop you. Instead, let it propel you forward. Every failure is a lesson that brings you closer to your success. Finally, remember that the grind is about consistency over perfection. It's not about being perfect every time, but about being consistent. You will make mistakes, you will stumble, and you will face challenges. But the key is to keep going. The savage knows that they don't have to be perfect to be successful. They just have to keep showing up and putting in the work. The grind is about progress, not perfection. Keep pushing, keep grinding, and trust that the results will follow. Success is not reserved for those who never fail, it's just reserved for those who keep going, even after they fail. In the end, embracing the grind is what turns dreams into reality. It's the hard work, the sacrifice, and the persistence that separate those from for success from those who actually achieve it. The grind isn't glamorous, but it's necessary. And if you want to be a savage, you must commit to it. The grind is where greatness is made. So step up, get to work, and embrace the grind with everything you've got. The savage knows that there is no shortcut to success, only the grind, and they are willing to put in the work to make their dreams come true. To truly become a savage, you must take full ownership of your life. This is not just about taking responsibility for your actions, but about owning every aspect of your journey. It's about acknowledging that, no matter the circumstances, you are the one who has control over your future. Life doesn't always hand you a fair deck of cards, and the world is not always kind, but the savage understands that they still have the power to shape their own destiny. They don't blame external factors, the economy, the government, their upbringing, or their current circumstances. They recognize that the power to change their life lies in their hands and theirs alone. This mindset is essential, because once you realize that you are the captain of your ship, you stop waiting for permission, stop hoping for things to get easier, and start doing what is necessary to move forward. Owning your life means being honest with yourself about where you are right now. You cannot move forward until you acknowledge the present reality. It's about taking an inventory of your life and facing the uncomfortable truths. Are you in the position you want to be? Are you living in alignment with your values and goals? If not, why not? The savage doesn't shy away from uncomfortable self-assessments. They don't sugarcoat the situation. They are brutally honest with themselves about where they are and why they're there. Only when you face the truth, however harsh it may be, can you start making the necessary changes to propel yourself forward. It's this level of self-awareness that allows you to take full ownership of your actions, your choices, and your direction in life. Once you've accepted where you are, owning your life requires you to take full responsibility for the decisions you've made, both the good and the bad. Many people like to blame others for their struggles, but the savage understands that every choice, whether conscious or unconscious, has led them to where they are now. Your past decisions are the building blocks of your present, and the savage doesn't point fingers or place blame, they take responsibility. This doesn't mean that you're solely to blame for everything that happens in your life, but it does mean that you acknowledge that you have the power to decide how you respond to life's challenges. You have control over how you move forward, no matter what happened before. Taking ownership of your life means refusing to play the victim. There is no room for a victim mentality in the savage mindset. Life may have dealt you some tough hands, but the savage refuses to wallow in self-pity or look for excuses. Instead, they use every setback as fuel for their growth. The savage doesn't wait for life to be perfect before they take action. They don't sit around hoping for things to change. They take charge of their own destiny and start taking steps, no matter how small, to improve their situation. This mentality is crucial because it removes the sense of helplessness. Once you stop seeing yourself as a victim, you gain the power to change your circumstances. Ownership also means taking full responsibility for your successes. It's easy to accept credit when things go right, but many people tend to dismiss or downplay their achievements. They might credit luck, external circumstances, or others for their success. But the savage understands that their success is the result of their hard work, discipline, and perseverance. They take pride in their achievements, not out of arrogance, but because they recognize the effort it took to get there. When you own your successes, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and that you can continue achieving at a high level. It's about having confidence in your abilities and recognizing the power you have to create the life you want. To own your life, you must also own your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, and how you choose to spend it determines the quality of your life. The savage does not waste time on things that don't contribute to their goals. They prioritize what matters and eliminate distractions. This requires making conscious decisions every day about how you spend your time. Are you spending time on things that move you toward your vision, or are you letting time slip away on trivial matters? Owning your time means being intentional with it. It means setting boundaries, saying no to things that drain your energy, and focusing on the activities that will bring you closer to your goals. Time is often wasted on comfort. The savage knows that growth requires discomfort, and they are not afraid to step outside of their comfort zone. They own their time by choosing the path that may be harder but ultimately brings them closer to their goals. The savage doesn't let fear or uncertainty dictate their actions. They don't allow comfort to dictate their decisions. Instead, they push themselves to grow and expand their capabilities. Owning your time means being willing to do the hard work, to face challenges head on, and to keep moving forward, even when it's uncomfortable. Ownership of your life also means taking care of your health. Your health is the foundation for everything else in your life, and you cannot achieve greatness if you're not physically and mentally well. The savage understands that their body is their greatest asset. They don't neglect it. They take responsibility for their physical fitness, mental health, and emotional well-being. They make the choice to eat well, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, and engage in practices that keep their mind sharp. This is an investment in their future self. The savage understands that the more they take care of their body and mind, the more energy and focus they'll have to pursue their goals. Mental and emotional health are just as important as physical health. Owning your life means taking responsibility for your thoughts and emotions. You cannot control everything that happens in the world, but you can control how you respond to it. The savage does not let negative emotions dictate their behavior. They take ownership of their emotional state, recognizing that they have the power to choose how they feel and how they react. This requires mental discipline, emotional intelligence, and the ability to reframe situations. The savage doesn't let fear, anger, or frustration hold them back. They acknowledge these emotions, but don't let them dictate their actions. Instead, they take control and choose how to move forward. Taking ownership of your life also involves financial responsibility. Money is a tool, not the end goal. However, it plays a crucial role in your ability to create the life you desire. The savage knows that wealth is not about luck or entitlement, it's about taking responsibility for your financial situation. They budget wisely, invest in their future, and don't make excuses for their financial struggles. They take the time to educate themselves about personal finance, and they make intentional choices about how to earn, save, and spend money. They understand that wealth doesn't happen overnight, but it is built through consistent efforts, smart choices, and a long-term mindset. The savage also understands the importance of relationships in their life. To truly own your life, you must own your relationships. This means taking responsibility for the quality of the relationships you cultivate and the energy you bring to them. The savage does not allow toxic relationships to drag them down. They take ownership of the people they allow into their inner circle. They surround themselves with individuals who support, challenge, and inspire them. They invest time in nurturing meaningful connections, building trust, and maintaining a positive network of people who elevate them. At the same time, they are not afraid to let go of relationships that no longer serve them. Owning your life means taking responsibility for the people you choose to keep close and being willing to cut ties with anyone who brings negativity or hinders your progress. Another aspect of ownership is taking control of your personal development. The savage does not wait for opportunities to come to them. They create them. They actively seek out opportunities for growth, whether it's through reading, learning new skills, attending seminars, or seeking mentorship. They are constantly working to improve themselves. Ownership means acknowledging that you are responsible for your own growth. You can't expect others to develop you. It's your responsibility to put in the work, to invest in your knowledge, and to actively seek out opportunities that will help you become a better version of yourself. To own your life, you must also own your failures. Failure is a part of the process, and the savage understands that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Every failure is a lesson, an opportunity to grow and improve. The savage does not make excuses or blame others for their failures. Instead, they take ownership of them, learn from them, and use them as stepping stones to future success. This mindset is crucial because it allows you to fail forward. It allows you to see each setback as a chance to get better, to refine your approach, and to keep moving forward with even greater determination. Finally, owning your life means taking control of your legacy. What do you want to leave behind? The savage doesn't live passively or wait for life to unfold. They are proactive, intentional, and purposeful in everything they do. They know that the choices they make today will shape the legacy they leave tomorrow. They take ownership of their impact on others, their community, and the world. They live with the understanding that their actions, no matter how small, have consequences and that they are responsible for the legacy they leave behind. Owning your life means recognizing that you are the author of your own story. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to rise above your circumstances, to take responsibility for your future, and to create a life that aligns with your values and goals The savage knows that life is not something that happens to them, it's something they create. So take ownership, take responsibility, and shape your life into the masterpiece it was always meant to be.